scene didn't actually switch over. My bad.
Huh. We'll get there.
We're there. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. All right, Proxy Reaper. A TvT specialty.
It really is. That used to be a bigger TvT specialty, I want to say a year ago. Like a lot of TvTs would start with Proxy Reaper shenanigans and then Defensive Reapers, and it'd be Reaper versus Reaper, and it was a fiesta of all sorts.
Yes, it certainly was. Future, however, is going for the best build you can, or the best opening you can, in order to counter this. Basically, just double gas. You get up a quick factory. Means you're way less likely to die or take significant damage.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's blind too. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know what's coming.
MaSa's going big though as he tosses up a third Rax.
It's just suddenly very committal out of MaSa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if Future is just expecting a 2 Rax, then all of a sudden an extra Reaper shows up. Things can get a little bit complicated.
Yeah, it's gonna be more than 2 Reapers showing up here, that's for sure. MaSa's third barracks finishes.
Yeah, Future's checking for a proxy with his Reaper, but checking to the wrong end. As now up goes MaSa into the main base.
And there's nothing to stop this.
No.
Nobody home.
There's going to be a Reaper and a Hellion popping out in just a second. Over 2 SCVs have already gone down.
3 SCVs. I'm pulling back, letting those combat drugs heal them up.
Yeah, no, I mean, Future does have out a Hellion, and he really just needs out, like, 1 more Hellion. And then I think it's going to be pretty hard for MaSa to break this.
Yeah, that bonus versus light is crucial in the situation where a lot of Hellions or a lot of wow, a lot of Reapers are trying to kill you.
Alright, Future thinking about pushing down that ramp.
Yeah, this is just 3 racks Proxy Reaper, man. There is no sign of an expansion going up for MaSa back home. He is just committed here. Just gone back in time.
Yeah, Future goes down the ramp. Was that preemptive, however, as the players engage, and this was what MaSa was hoping for. However, it still did not go the way of the Red Terran. He's going to lose all of his Reapers, essentially. And I think Future's got this one.
Yeah, the Hellions are just too much damage. Too much splash damage versus these clumped up Reapers.
Yeah.
And yes, he did kill a bunch of Future stuff, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, and the fact there's a medivac out for Future is just going to make this way, way better for him.
Oh, lost it. I was going to say the Hellion micro, pretty good. Hellion drop micro, pretty good.
Yeah, MaSa's got a CC on the way behind this on the high ground. However, he doesn't have a factory started up just yet. He's got no choice but to keep making Reapers, and all Future has to do is really push across the map with his own units.
Yeah, because there's nobody back home. All right, well, SCV is going down. SCV is forced to defend against enemy attacks. There's actual army here for Future to defend against the attack in his base, and that means it's going to go a lot better, and bam.
GG.
Something of a build order loss there, unfortunately, for MaSa. Future takes game 1 of the best of 7. Looking pretty good doing it, too, gotta say. Able to defend because he had that factory out, making Hellions, and then, as you said, just kind of walking across the map with his stuff. His stuff versus SCVs is pretty great, whereas he actually has units back home to defend against the Reaper attack that did come in for the 3rd time. So nicely done. Looks like we're going to get into our next map here, game number 2. Going to be on Oxide. And yeah, we'll see who's going to hop on in here. See if MaSa can tie it up, or Future's going to go for that 2-0 lead.
Yeah. This best of 7 still has got quite a ways to go. We'll make sure both the players are ready, and then we'll jump on into it. It's like MaSa is ready, Future is ready, and that's all we need to start the game.
I guess it helps if the casters are also ready.
Yeah. Not essential, though.
No, definitely not.
Not as essential as one of the players not being AFK or something.
Casters are always ready, they say.
Uh-huh. Ready just to jump right into it. And here we are, in the bottom left. Representing Alpha X, he's MaSa.
And in the top right, teammate and fellow Terran, it is Future.
And there we have it.
Previously known as Future of Terran.
Yeah. And he's kind of shown us that. He was like, I'm the future of Terran. And now he's starting to become real good. It's like, yeah, you kind of were. Still got a ways to go, though.
Yes.
MaSa going for the double gas, so he'll be much better suited to deal with this aggression.
Two Reapers in production for Future. Third one just sitting there. And let's see how MaSa does against a very similar attack that he perpetuated in game number 1.
Mm-hmm. In goes Future. MaSa's going to have to pull his Reaper back. And he does react before shots are fired, which is good. However, his Reaper is kind of zoned out, which is not good. His second Reaper is about to pop out, but without the support of the first, he could be in a bit of trouble. He's already lost 2 SCVs. He does toss down a grenade to help push Future away, but he does hold on to get his Hellion out. Hasn't lost any units. It's looking good for MaSa as far as holding on is concerned, and that's why we see Future already committing to a factory at home. Future with the barracks play, gonna try and grab himself the supply depot. However, MaSa decides to charge down the ramp and is gonna get on top of all the Reapers of Future. Future really just losing everything. MaSa keeps that depot alive, although it is likely gonna burn down. Oh.
No, couldn't save it. Brutal.
Yeah, this is not looking good, too hot though for Future, as he did lose everything. And MaSa is coming across the map with a Medivac, sort of a similar counterplay to what Future had in the previous game. Yeah,
it certainly is. It's such a reversal. What a weird match this is. So Reaper's going to town on that mineral line a little bit, but Cyclone dies almost instantly, gets nothing done, and that's your GG. MaSa does tie the series up in a very strange reversal of fortune. These players put upon each other there. Very weird.
Just like that.
Yeah. Maybe proxy Reapers aren't the hot thing to do in TvT at the moment.
No, not when double gas is in the meta.
No.
Alright, so we'll get on into the next game as soon as Future picks the next map.
Yeah, I actually looked it up, and MaSa and Future met in the finals of Afreeca World back in April. It was MaSa versus Future on April 3rd, 2020.
Okay, so that was a ways ago.
It was. It feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah.
I don't mean to create false hype, but we may be having another Euthermal Solar Finals in the Taco Cup.
Nice. Solar and his online cups, man. That guy.
Well, the main hurdle was Euthermal beating Clem, but he's currently up 1-0.
Ooh, that is quite a hurdle. Clem's terrifying. But beatable. Everybody is, honestly. Well, heck, we just saw Cyril go down today to a Protoss for the first time since Katowice. So
Showtime was probably very happy after years of just getting dumpstered by Cyril.
He hasn't beat Cyril personally since 2017, he said. Like, that is so long to face somebody in a series over and over again, year after year after year, and never beat them. That's just bleh.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Neeb TLO thing.
Yeah.
Which TLO would always draw Neeb and always lose. And then when TLO retires, he beats Neeb.
That's all he needed to do. That was the trick. That was the trick.
All right. We are tied up going into Pillars of Gold, and in the top right-hand side of the map with a knife next to his command center, it's Future.
And in the bottom left, it is the red Terran player. His name is MaSa from Canada.
Oh, boy.
Are we doing more shenanigans?
Of course we are. It's a TvT.
Man. If you say so.
TvT never change.
I guess not. Our battle cruiser wish is not going very well.
No, but all it really takes is one game.
Yeah. I'm gonna step away for a sec. I'll be back in a minute.
Okie dokie. I will attempt to describe to you guys what's happening here, which is Future doing the same thing that didn't work in the last game. But this time he is maybe hoping that MaSa changes up his build, but MaSa doesn't, which I honestly think is a good decision, and clearly it is, as he's being proxied yet again. Alright, couple Reapers on the way now for Future. MaSa has his own Reaper on the way. And it's really just about staying alive for a minute. Or for a matter of seconds till you get out your second Reaper in Hellion. Alright, the Reaper of MaSa is rallied down. He's going to realize that this is a proxy. Turns around immediately. We'll see where he's going to position that Reaper. Pulls it back to his command center. Sometimes Terrans will preemptively pull a couple of SCVs to help buffer against your opponent's Reapers, but MaSa's really just going defensive, doesn't want to risk losing his Reaper at all. In come the Reapers of Future. Now SCVs are going to be pulled. However, there's going to be a second one out in just a second here for MaSa. And with his second Reaper out, he can probably grab one of Future's. Yes, he does. Does he get the second? If he gets the second, that is bad news for Future. But it's still already not great for the young Terran player. MaSa gonna need to get some units, get some SCVs back into gas, and then he'll be sitting pretty, I think. In goes the racks for future. This can let him scout out, identify if MaSa's moved his units out, and so his Reapers could potentially jump into the main base, but he sees that they're just chilling there, so future will just chill too. And honestly, he's fine with that because he's at a deficit now, but as the game goes on, he'll be in a better and better position.
Alright, I'm back. What did I miss?
Welcome back. Future lost his first Reaper, and that basically ended the Reaper rush.
Cool.
As per usual.
Yeah, that'll do.
Alright. Future pulling SCVs, worried about an attack on his side of the map, but it looks like the game will just be continually passive as MaSa's actually just kept his units back at home. Future kind of played himself because of that, trying to hide the SCV on the command center, whereas he could have had it done a little bit sooner, but I mean, look at the supply, look at the CC timing. It's all very, very even. Well, not necessarily even, but near equality.
We'll take it, honestly, at this stage of the game. Yeah, it's pretty darn close. Both players on 2 bases, both players around 30 workers, yada, yada, yada. Army supply definitely bigger for MaSa, but it's over here. It's not doing anything. You can't win if you're over here. I guess if your opponent attacks into you and you're bigger, that would help, but I'm not sure if Future's interested in doing that. Here we go. Pushing out across the map. Reapers and a Cyclone defending for Future. Doesn't seem like it's enough versus what we're seeing here.
Yeah, this is quite a push from MaSa, seeing as how he's got the Medivac to go with this. There is a tank on the way out for Future. We'll see if he sets that up on the high ground here, or gets it right in between those two positions, so the tank will indeed help him defend.
The longer MaSa waits to go up that ramp, the worse it's going to be for him. What's he doing? It's almost like a contain he's got set up here.
Yeah, MaSa coming forward with 2 tanks is very, very bizarre, but there's the tank on the high ground. However, he's going to use his Raven to disable it, get his own tank set up in a very, very sneaky play. The Reapers for Future are coming in, but they are clumped up. The tanks could potentially shoot them and clean them up very quickly, so we do have to see the Vikings land for Future. However, he does successfully clean everything up at quite the expense to both players, but that did not get what it needed done for MaSa.
No, it was a cute idea. It was nice. Disabling the tank and then getting up your own tanks on the low ground, but too much other stuff up there for a Future, and coming around the side too to really make that work for MaSa. He's only up 31 to 25 army supply now. Future is macroing really well. More Vikings, more tanks, more Marines, Stim coming in, and it looks like we may have settled into a macro style TvT as MaSa's going home.
Yeah, MaSa goes home. The gap has narrowed between these two players as the third base is already landing for Future, as MaSa's is landing. So very, very even expansion timings. And yeah, we get in a macro game here. Now, looks like Future's electing to push out. However, he's got to be careful, as MaSa does seem to have quite a bit of units. looks like the two Hellions actually run into those tanks. This is going to tip MaSa off to go for an engagement. He snipes his opponent's Raven while keeping his own alive. The Vikings are going to engage each other. Auto turrets to help out.
Auto turret dying instantly there, too. The tank fire. 3 tanks really big for Future right now. But low ground position for tanks, not exactly where you want to be when your enemy also has tanks, so we're going to pull back to the high ground a little bit here, hide our Vikings from the enemy Vikings by landing them on the ground, and then maybe just pulling back a little bit further as, you know, continue to push the offensive seems like a bad idea.
Oh, that Cyclone trying to grab a Viking. Cute play by Future, but unsuccessful. MaSa just elects to throw up a 4th base, which I kind of dig, as so does Future.
Yeah, we're getting closer. I can smell the battle cruisers. I feel them.
I think we still got a ways to go before that happens, but it very well could do.
The longer the game goes on, that's all I'm saying. All right, MaSa moving out. I don't think he necessarily has enough to break this necessarily, but he's got Marines, got tanks, got Vikings, Raven in there too.
Yeah, you really do need overwhelming numbers to break an opponent in TvT.
Yeah,
that's
you can't just show up with a handful of tanks and call it good.
It is all about positioning though, and MaSa is sort of sneaking around here. He's got his Raven out. And oh, look at this, a bit of a cute position for MaSa to wedge himself into, shooting Future's gas.
Keeping his Raven alive. Oh, interference matrix on the 1 tank, allowing his 3 tanks to take that sucker down. Okay, tank's in a great position. Now look at this, Future heading south. He's like, well, alright, so that's going to be an annoying contain. I don't even want to do that. Let's go kill some stuff on the other side of the map.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Future's actually got a very high Marauder count for TvT. He's going to stim towards the natural base of his opponent. Looks like MaSa out of position is potentially going to take some losses, and yeah, some big losses. A lot of SCVs are going to die. MaSa stimming in to try and counter this, picking off the Medivacs. We'll take care of those. But 23 SCVs died in the process of this.
Yeah, a bunch of medevacs going down really hurts for Future, though. He doesn't want to do that. That said, yeah, a lot of SCVs down for MaSa. He's replacing those, pumping them 2 at a time, and he's got mules too, so not super concerned, I don't think, about his income at the moment. Oh, trying to siege up. Trying to jump on it as the tanks are sieging up right now. Getting on top of MaSa's force. Wiping out 3 of the tanks pretty quickly. The other one on the high ground is the next target, and that's going to be it. MaSa needs to pull back a little bit, though he does have a lot of reinforcements just arriving to the scene a tiny bit too late. And decides to go for it. Oh, unloading the Vikings to try to get additional DPS in there. The tanks are pretty much unopposed, though, as the Marines are buffering for them a little bit, but no, siege tank down. Oh, this 3rd base is in a lot of trouble, and he might just lose as many SCVs as he killed on the other side of the map. Future, economically, not very happy about this. Turnabout, again, fair play here.
Yeah, MaSa really pushing forward. It seems to be going his way as Future is down about 40 supply right now. The command center might actually die. It's going to be repaired by some hero SCVs, but MaSa really wants it. It looks like he will indeed get it.
Oh, got it. It's a big-time play right there.
Yeah, MaSa...
Go ahead, yeah.
MaSa's also got the 2-2 right now, and that's all he needs to close it out. GG.
Upgrade advantage, bigger army supply, killing a base, killing 25-something SCVs. That's your GG. MaSa looking good there. Nice. Push timing. Yeah, that was crazy. Future breaks out of that unofficial kind of soft contain. And right as he does it, a ton of reinforcements come in from MaSa, and that turns into a win. Go figure. So nicely done there by the Canadian. We're going to move into our next map. As soon as we get them to decide exactly what they are into playing for this next one. It's Future's time here. Future's turn to choose a map. He may just be kind of sitting back, pondering what he did wrong there.
Yeah.
And it's submarine.
Briary Heart drops 1 star balloon.
Yay! Thanks for the star balloon. Looks like the cat is enjoying it immensely too.
Indeed, indeed. Alright, both players are ready. All right, in the top left, representing Alpha X, he's Future.
And in the bottom right, the Canadian. Up north, it is MaSa.
Okay. No proxy. Good to see.
Could still get like a starport proxy or something later, but yep. No barracks proxies in this game at least. Officially Christmas season over here. Generally wait until the day after Thanksgiving to get that stuff going. So
I like to wait till December 1st.
That's fair. It's very close.
Yeah.
Probably gonna put up a tree here after the cast.
Oh, nice. Do you did you get like a real tree, or do you go for one of the...
Yeah, I did a real tree all growing up, but then when it was time to do my own, I was like, fake tree's fine.
Yeah.
Just got one in the garage, and we'll set it up here. Not too bad. Yeah, both players reapering it up. Both players going for that factory at virtually the same time. Supply depot's coming into. It looks like Future is a tiny bit ahead in most of these things. Some of them, they're just a little bit different in how they're approaching this, but they're going to end up in the same spot here in about a minute. No big deal.
Indeed, they will.
A quick starport from MaSa, whereas Future on the other side, no sign of it. Well, there we go. Now it's getting started a little bit later, but that's okay. MaSa choosing not to expand, though. Didn't notice that. So 3 minutes without a second CC. Looks like he is planning for some kind of a one-base attack here. Mule pulled off. You don't have to do that anymore, right?
No, I think you do.
I thought they fixed that.
They said they would, and then they never did. They added it in, but then for like a patch, but it had bugs or something. So then they
Oh, okay.
then Blizzard went ahead and undid that, and we
Gotcha.
shall be stuck with it for eternity.
Yeah, I mean, they said they will patch it as needed, so maybe one of these days there will be a time they need to do something big and they'll just hit this next.
Yeah, maybe.
Possible.
Oh, this really is a one base from MaSa.
Yeah, no, he's committing to the one base lifestyle.
Oh man, Future moves out at the worst possible time. He picks up his tank. Oh no.
What a weird timing this is. Just kind of scrapping all over the place. Viking trying to kill the medevac is going to get it. Oh, trying, but kind of slow nevertheless. Siege tank gets Tech Lab, so no further tank production there, which is pretty interesting. That Tech Lab too. So add-ons are very squishy. They're good targets when you're not sure if you can actually take down entire factories.
All right, Future says he's got to break this now. There's actually nothing to buffer for these tanks, so they will get cleaned up. All for the cost of 7 SCVs.
7 SCVs and a couple add-ons. Not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing as how MaSa doesn't have his own base done yet, yeah, that's all right for Future.
Okay, so after all that excitement, we're basically matched up here. Yeah, 2 siege tanks make that little Hellion Reaper group very afraid. They need to run. So I mean, the bigger problem here for MaSa is that he just now got his natural base, and Future's already started his third. So as far as being ahead in base count and everything else, income is going to be real nice for Future for the next few minutes anyway.
He does scan it at least, so he knows the position he's in and can play accordingly. Oh my.
Well, siege tank positioning very aggressive, shutting down all mining at the natural base of Future. And kind of the same story on the other side, though. No mining happening at either player's second base. Oh, even to the point that he's lifted off his natural. Future cannot be pleased about that. And MaSa actually is able to mine at this point.
Yeah, that's rather painful. MaSa with a higher Viking count, able to bite into this position and really, really delay the mining of Future.
What's up, Kaya Rolonis in chat? Defensive tank sniped down. Viking count a little bit higher for Future. He does manage to chase away MaSa's Vikings as a result. But still no mining from this base. Future has landed his third and is going to mine from that for the time being. And actually landed Vikings surprisingly good against tanks with that bonus damage versus mechanical, which tanks are.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad cleanup for Future once again. Keeping in mind that MaSa is still just on 2 bases. He hasn't started his stim yet. He's just getting up extra racks now. Whereas Future is able to secure up his natural, and he's got his third mining during that chaos, so he's in quite a lead.
And this counterattack, pretty intense. Defensive tank kind of means everything for MaSa here. It's not a giant army coming in, but it is 3 tanks for Future. 3 versus 1 is not where you want to be. He's going to try to do this low ground siege up. I guess he wants to take on the high ground. That's right. MaSa does. And oh, is not really focusing on the high ground tank. There we go. Gets him finally. Viking count for MaSa higher than it is for Future that brought him. And again, Vikings cleaning up the siege tanks. Just kind of mirror setups on both sides. Does he know what matchup he's playing? TvT is nothing but scans. It's 100% scans. There's nothing else. Especially the longer the game goes on.
Alright, Future trying to reposition to deal with this army as MaSa once again wants to get into a nice siege position. He's going to land his Vikings to actually take this fight. It's a very, very bold attack by MaSa. I'm not sure that this was the right decision, as his Vikings aren't going to get a lot of face time with the tanks, and so that attack will be cleaned up.
Yeah, apparently this is the game where landed Vikings are being used to deal with tanks over and over again. MaSa landing his third base significantly later than Future did, though. It is 63 to 60 workers. Income here is favoring Future, but with some mule call downs and full saturation on this third base, that should even up quite nicely here. Both players spending their money exceptionally well, too. Yeah, I don't know about heading that way, Future. There's some red down in that portion of the map, and a lot of those are Marines. Army supply, pretty close, but Future has a decent lead at the moment. Map control kind of belongs to Future, too, as far as vision and who can tell what's going on. MaSa's kind of in the dark. And going for the drop-a-rooney. Just going to drop here at the third base. See how many SCVs he can take down. There's going to be a couple. 3, 4, 5. Liberator getting a couple kills there. Good reaction time from Future, making sure it's not worse. Setting up at the third base, too. Reaction time, again, good. Maybe a couple more SCVs going down there. And that Liberator got out. That's crazy talk. That Liberator is still alive. So the Liberator harass kind of adding up. Just small little blows over time. Finally, that Liberator gets taken down. Worker count 65 to 56. MaSa has a pretty nice lead on that one.
Yeah, he does now, whereas he was kind of behind before. Army supplies very even too. And so yeah, this is basically another tied up TvT. Yeah, Future's behind in SCVs by about 9. But as far as Terran production goes, that doesn't affect things too much. Future's landing a 4th base. MaSa has yet to start his. Actually, as I say that, there's one at the 3rd base. It's a very, very even game, and we see the players are going to be moving out. MaSa to react to this. He's getting his tank sieged up. Future charging in might be a little bold, and he does retreat.
Army supply dead even at this point. Worker supply even too. Future's catching up on that one. We're getting into 4-base territory here. Waiting for someone to throw down a fusion core.
Oh wow, MaSa stimming forward as Future was not ready for this engagement. He's backed into a wall, but MaSa's taking the fight, sniping up almost all of the tanks of Future. What an engagement for the Red Terran.
Yeah, that was seeing an opportunity and taking it. It is 6 to 2 tanks right now. Damn. Well, MaSa taking the 3-1 lead here over Future in this best of 7 in a fantastic... Yeah, it was even. I said right before that engagement, it was even, and then MaSa was just like, I think I can get some stuff done here. Jumped in there, killed 3 of the tanks. Really put Future at a disadvantage, and Future tapped out. Tank count matters, my friends. It really does.
Indeed it does.
Amazing. Good night, Michael Lacco. Thanks for hanging out with us. That Boilermaker is still here. Another star balloon.
Yeah, thanks so much to everyone who is tuning in. Future picks Jag for the next map.
And be sure to I mean, if you're here, if you're new here, haven't been here the whole time, and you don't know about the Matcherino, go ahead and click the link up top above the chat here. There's a metroreno.com link you can go to. If you put in coupon code AW57 or 67, it'll toss in free 50 cents to these players. You can donate other amounts as well if you're interested in that. So by all means, take a couple minutes just to toss some free money at these guys. They will appreciate it. Makes them feel loved, and they'll come back and do more Africa World games.
Mm-hmm. All right, MaSa is ready. We'll see if Future is ready, and Go is called, so we shall go into the next game.
Gonna be on the Jug map. Yeah, it's kind of amazing what a game 3 or 4 can do. Just kind of change the feeling of the matchup.
Yeah. Anyway, in the top right, he's got himself a 3-1 lead.
Phew.
It's MaSa.
And in the bottom left, it is the blue Terran player, Future. Make battle cruisers. It's the key to victory today.
He says, nope, Reapers.
Hi, Reapers haven't won yet today, have they?
I don't believe they have. They've only lost.
Yeah. Why would it go back to that well? MaSa has also showed how not this working this is. All right. Well, what's MaSa going to do?
I guess you got to just get lucky and hope that your opponent goes for a single gas expand.
Yeah.
But I see double gas from MaSa, which is no good for Future. I guess Future just figures, you know what, go big or go home, right?
Yep. I don't know if I agree with it, but sure, it's something you can do.
MaSa mining his gas. We'll see if he's going to spot this one right away like he did with the other. His Reaper basically saw it and then turned around. Looks like he's rallying it to his front, however. Not going to send him down this area, which may hurt him a little bit. His factory is now on the way, though.
Yeah, he's fine. I think he will be just fine.
I think he'll be in an alright spot to hold this, but there is a chance that he could still lose this game. All it really takes is for you to lose your Reaper, and then things just snowball out of control.
Yes, very fair. But he's got to have it in the back of his mind. Oh, he's going to scout it?
Yeah, he changes his Reaper rally, and so he sees this.
Aha! And now he can keep his Reaper alive and have high ground, too. All right, Future. You're in trouble now. You got scouted when you're doing shenanigans. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Getting called on your shenanigans.
Yep. So factory finishing up. Getting a charge didn't actually hit.
Yeah, that's quite a mistake. The Reaper, second Reaper will pop out from MaSa. Can he grab that Reaper of Future? If he can, that's a big deal, but he cannot, and his Reaper might actually lose this fight. It's 1-for-1 right now. The Reaper of MaSa is running away, however, it does get targeted down. Future's Reaper is now regenerating, and keep in mind, it's 3 racks production against just the 1 racks and the 1 factory. MaSa
Hellion worth its weight in gold here.
Yeah, but it'll get targeted down really quickly.
SCV's trying to join in.
More
Meat
SCVs
shield
need to be pulled, and GG, Future.
Got scouted, made it work anyway. Future, you boss. Nicely done. Fantastic. That was great. Works out in the end. Hellion by himself, not enough against 4 Reapers. And that's your GG. All right. So a bunch of short games in this best of 7. This is not a very long best of 7 at all. MaSa says, what map's even left? Trying to figure out what our next map here is, what he can choose from.
All right. We're gonna have to see some battle cruisers soon if Falcon's wish is gonna come true, guys.
I know. It's not going well for me. Bums me out.
All right. Both players are in the lobby. Both are ready to go. No time to waste as we load on into game number 6. All right, and here we are in the top left-hand side of the map. The series is suddenly looking a lot better for him. Its future.
Yeah, it's amazing what one game can do. And in the bottom right, still needs one game to win, but it's feeling farther away. It's MaSa.
And these guys know the heat's on now. No Reapers. MaSa's scouting out for any proxies, as he is going for the one gas, and so is Future. Both these guys all of a sudden say, right, Romanticide, it's not a very good map for proxying, so we're gonna finally have a one gas opener against a one gas opener.
For the first time today. Wow, mining out that wall now seems like quite a chore.
Yeah, I think
guess he was out there anyway.
Might have just wanted some minerals. He's like, guys, look what I found. Turns out
Way far away.
This stuff's just all over the ground, believe it.
I know. Found some more just outside our house.
Huh. You know, it'd be cool if we built another house next to them.
You think SCVs could build faster if they didn't have minerals in their hands while they were doing it?
Yeah, like, probably.
Like, he's not using his left hand at all.
He's just a very talented builder.
I guess. Can you imagine? It's like your SCVs, if they're holding minerals or gas, will construct at half speed.
Oh my gosh. Same, but then for Protoss, they can't morph in a building while the probe has got gas or minerals in its hand. So he's like, damn it, I gotta go put this down first.
Yeah. But you do have the option to just drop your resource on the ground wherever it is.
Uh-huh.
That would be interesting.
Back up later.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of any like reason it would exist in competitive play. But I mean, it'd be interesting to just like drop little individual 4 mineral chunks all over the map and have your opponent be like, "What?"
The mind games.
Yeah, what is happening? I'd watch that.
Alright, quick Hellions for Future, whereas MaSa is electing to go for a more traditional approach. Oh, Falcon!
Do we get our thing? Do we get it? Maybe? Maybe.
I don't see another reason why a Terran's going to be building a fusion core.
I mean, Liberator range is nice. We have seen Liberator harass today.
In TvT, though?
We just saw it.
It gonna be a battle cruiser.
Okay.
I'm
trying to not get my hopes up.
I think for once it's okay to have your hopes high.
Hooray! All right, fusion core done.
Look at that, 400 minerals. He's ready to build a big boy.
No, you're right.
And there's the big boy now.
I get my wish, my Christmas wish, my American Thanksgiving wish. You do the wishbone thing in Canada?
I don't actually know because I'm a vegetarian, so.
So basically there's a wishbone in the turkey, and two people grab each side of it, and then they pull, and whoever gets the bigger half, their wish comes true.
I mean, I imagine so. Everyone eats turkey, right? So, oh my
Right.
gosh, that's a lot of Hellions, by the way.
A lot of
That
Hellions.
is an
Poor Reaper.
ungodly amount of Hellions.
Is it just like YOLO Hellions? You're gonna do like
Hellions and BCs. I mean, the Hellions shoot all the Marines, and the BC kills whatever's left.
I guess your siege tank's still a bit of a problem for
Yeah.
those Hellions.
This is gonna be interesting. MaSa has no idea what's coming his way though, and soon enough that big boy is gonna teleport himself across the map. And there he goes. In goes MaSa. Where's the BC? At the natural. SCVs need to be pulled on that bunker immediately. An auto turret gets dropped. SCVs have not been pulled to repair the tank, nor the bunker as the Hellions push up. The battle cruiser dies though, and oh my gosh, MaSa wins.
Wow! Battle cruiser dies, but wins anyway. Insta win. Feels premature, but hey, we're getting our game 7. That did not seem likely about 20 minutes ago.
All right, MaSa is the victor.
Hot dang! That was amazing.
That is one way to end the series. Future went big, and he went home. Yeah. That is all I can say. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in to this Afreeca world. It's been a fun one doing an American Cup. I'm sure we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, this full NA stuff is always very fun to cast for sure.
They were some very entertaining games, and yeah, make sure to check out Falcon Paladin and I on Twitter, on YouTube. Yeah.
We are all over the place on the social media, so check us out. Again, if you want to know when the next one is, Twitter's the best place to go.
Yeah, do you have anything else to add though before we head on out?
I don't think so. Congratulations to MaSa getting the win here today. It is, I'm gonna just look at, he did win back in 2020, beating Future back then too. And that's his second win. So he's a 2-time Afreeca World winner, along with people like Rogue, Innovation, Donray Goo, Cure, Bunny.
Yeah, well done indeed.
Group to be in for sure.
Yeah, nice club. Okay, I think that is that's gonna be it though for the stream. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in. Make sure to have yourself a wonderful day.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe, and stay healthy out there. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.